Throughout the ages, many magnificent manifestations of life has ruled the lands, from big lizard boys to small anger fluffs. But today we welcome a new era, a new overlord. Meet the humble caterpillar. This spineless creature will prove that looks aren't everything, and with enough dirty tricks, anyone can rule as a slimy piece of shit. This right here is Caterpillar V1, starting off our journey in the hot soup that is the cell stage, armed with a mouth and a very large, very pokeable eye. Being the size and shape that we are, our options for growth are very limited, and also things are very scary. But after dying, and eventually actually finding a mate, and doing the dance that I like to call the worm, we can now watch as our caterpillar becomes slightly better, in the era that I like to call stay away from me or I will poke your goddamn eye out. So going back in the soup, I'm gonna stay with the strategy that I like to call staying out of sight and eating scraps, because fuck all of that. And as we can see here, the spikes are doing the job and I am poking people's eyes out. Once more, it's time to wiggle ourselves towards our potential future mate, because it is time for the caterpillar to evolve. Many years of evolution has deemed it necessary to remove these unnecessary spikes and add one singular flagella. The competitive advantage of the Caterpillar V3 is absolutely unmatched in the entire Primordial Sea. Well, unmatched by everything except for the things that are way larger and way more scary. But as is evident by the massive offensive power of the caterpillar, we have managed to slay one of the bigger creatures in the sea, making us grow at an unprecedented rate. Eventually, we begin reaching the point where we have enough nutritional value in our tiny little cell bodies to where we can start developing a very, very large brain for thinking very, very good. Which is more than I can say about myself. For the last time, we call our cell mate before going up on land. Now, this is the point where most creatures would start developing things like legs for walking. And then in a way, our humble caterpillar is actually no different. He does not skip leg day, he has thunder calves. But this humble caterpillar does not subscribe to such convenience, and in the game of evolution decides to simply have 2 feet. And that's 2 feet for 2 legs. But not like most people would have it, he does not have 2 sets. It's just one singular leg in the front and one in the back, and that is a lot of artifacts. OBS, what are you doing? And with this new land that we find ourselves upon, there is no longer the option of staying out of sight. However, we are presented with 2 questions. Question 1, can we make friend? And the answer is kind of yes. Question 2 is genocide. And with that, this humble caterpillar has won the first of many Pokemon battles. Going forward with the Caterpillar V4, the next evolution of the species, we now have a way smaller base. And while it may not look like it, there is in fact a mouth, a horn, an eye, and legs. All of this is to maintain maximum stealth at all times. All his enemies will hear is the clitter-clatter of tight little footsies. But don't let yourself be fooled, this adorable little sausage dog is actually a very vicious killer. Having successfully hunted and killed a lot of the local population, it is now time for another mating session. Our brain has grown, and with it our attack capabilities. It is time to gain the mandible. Which of course will be very small, but oh so deadly, as we all know size doesn't matter. And with this newfound brain size, we have also unlocked the ability to become the alpha of a pack. And then, having successfully put every single local species into the history books, it is time to migrate to a new nest. Okay, that nest took way longer to find than I expected, but now that we are here, this humble caterpillar finds artifacts, and finds itself on the precipice of a new evolution. And as part of that evolution, the caterpillar gains new feet, it gains a new horn that is way less pointy but somehow does way more damage. It gains the very disgusting ability of being able to hawk Tua, and with all of that, the Caterpillar V5 becomes a very powerful artifact. Is my game supposed to become grayscale? I do not recognize this. I think I may or may not have removed the eye. Huh. And also, those artifacts are the exact reason why you shouldn't play the game on a 15-year-old disc. Either way, eye or no eye, disc or no disc, we can still murder. And murder is something the caterpillar has become very proficient in. Having killed the Kumiko, and I was going to say tenderize the monkeys, but the game crashed. That's to be expected. So after not saving anything like a dumbass and completely restarting the game, we are now loading the tribal stage and we're hoping for the best. And as you can see, the humble caterpillar obviously managed to make it to the tribal stage with no complications whatsoever. Having eventually gathered enough resources, the caterpillar is now building their first stone axe hut. And with every member of the tribe arming themselves, it is now time for war. And it just so happens that there is only one tribe to war with, and it is the pink tribe, and they are about to die. Unfortunately for them, they are a friendly tribe. They only do music. And here they come, war screams and axes held high. Unfortunately for the pink tribe, the caterpillar has no history of being merciful. Oh, can I just say, out of character, out of like the meme of the video, I absolutely fucking hate the tribal stage. It sucks. It's the worst. It's not fun. It's giving me artifacts. It's just, it's not enjoyable in any way. Other than gaining height to our totem pole, we also gain the ability to have fishing spears from killing the pink tribe, which means that our tribe will now pivot away from being a hunter tribe and simply being a gather tribe. Because as we all know, technically, fishing is not actually eating meat. It's basically a vegetable. Oh, but before we have time for that, we are currently under attack. Which means it's time for murder. Okay, anyways, back to fishing. Something I have been neglecting is giving my poor little caterpillars actual decorations for practical purposes. So I'm gonna give them a very, very large fedora. I feel like that is very fitting. And also very, very small tribal masks. They do need their combat, but it doesn't need to be visible. And that is a good looking fedora. See, what these big fedoras enable is actually hiding the fruits of their labor inside the hat so that raiders won't know that there is actual food here. Speaking of raiders, I think it is time that Lavender Village comes over here and has a little chat with us. Also, whole tribe, could you please just grab access real quick, because they are coming very fast. I think it's high time, even though some of my troops are quite low on health, that we go and we pay Lavender Village a little visit. And now that the Fedora Mafia has killed all of their members, it's time to simply destroy their hut. Which does take a considerable amount of time. So as luck would have it, it actually turns out that 2 of the Cyan Village tribe members decided to attack our village. And really, when I say that they were attacking our village, I mean that they were close to our village and I killed them. And we were going to attack Cyan, but now Orange is coming our way, so I see this as an opportunity to weaken their numbers. Goodbye, Axling Sarchon, you're dead. So with killing 3 of the Orange, I think it's high time to actually just straight up eradicate them. So after killing a lot of adults and a lot of babies, this long and grueling war campaign is finally coming to an end. Bye bye Orange Village, we had fun. And that gains us our 3rd totem pole. It also introduces the dangers of the Yellow Village, which we will soon deal with, but just not right now. And now at last the time has come. I'm making all my tribesmen eat their food because they are going into battle once more. So the way we are doing this battle is that 2 of my peeps will go ahead and they will disconnect all of those. They will go ahead and they will take the healing rods. Then 2 of my peeps are gonna take flaming torches and the rest are going to simply... Did I choose all of them? I think it chose all of them. Hold up. Yeah, so 2 people on healing duty, 2 people on fire duty, and the rest are going to be on axe duty, and they will murder all of our opponents. Going over to the Yellow Village, it is time to strategize our attack. So, choosing our fire guys when the list is complete. The fire guys are simply going to run straight over here and start attacking the Yellow Village headquarters, while the rest of the people are going to start attacking the other people. Starting with the Chieftain, right over here. Chieftain Emelibuppada. I can't read it because it's so low res. I love old games. Also, I made a bit of a mistake. My guy started running with the torches before the other guys, so this is going to be interesting. And also, there's an epic going here. I am not happy about the situation. One of my guys is already dead. This could not have gone worse. But luckily, this fight wasn't all that tough. My last guy is now running over with a new piece of torch, and we are simply going to kill their hut. The one conceivable issue I could see happening here is if my fire gun runs over and pulls that big epic, because it's happened before. But as we can see, even though the Yellow Village is replenishing their fighting powers, they have no match for the Fedora Caterpillar. And now there remains only one threat on the continent. And believe me I will take my sweet old time before I attack them. They will not know what hit them. I don't think I've ever actually played the tribal stage for long enough to actually use the spears, so today I'm going to arm my entire tribe with spears and I'm going to kill the Cyan tribe. And now it's just a matter of waiting for the Sombrero gang to do their thing. Bye bye tribe stage and hello civilization. So with the discovery of thinking just a tiny bit more, we have now unlocked the civilization stage. And I think with the nature of how our creature looks, there is only one move forward going with the city hall, and it is this. I wonder how tall I can make this. I've never tried. Well, that's the limit, but it's pretty high. And then comes the most important part of any civilization, the battle tanks. That was a lot more painful than I expected, but here we have it. The tank. It's a caterpillar. For my caterpillars. It is literally the only fitting thing to have for this civilization. So to start off our planet conquering mayhem, the first thing we will do is to do like the Dutch and capture the spices. Because as everybody knows, those who own the spice gets the whole slice. Yeah, that's a new proverb. You know what? I'm actually quite happy with the design of this caterpillar. Making a scoop wasn't very easy, let me tell you that. And you know what? Before they have a chance to evolve, I'm just gonna decimate the red village over here. They may be in the Fedora gang, but that doesn't matter for the caterpillar. He's here to tear your house down. And apparently that gives us a religious vehicle. For some reason. I was not aware of my religious capabilities, but here we are. Either way, these villages are all getting destroyed. And I went ahead and I bought some more tanks, and I'm making sure that this goes very quickly. All of these villagers are going to be destroyed. Is it unfair to use modern military industrial complexes to kill tribespeople? Yes. Yes, it is. Has that stopped me or the American government before? No. No, it hasn't. Unfortunately for us though, the blue tribe here has managed to actually become a city. But they are religious, which means we can just kill them. So we are going to quickly design a house, or just steal a design from the page, and play some so we can increase our military capabilities. Anyways, bye bye Purple Nation, you're gonna die. And just like that, our empire begins to expand. And in keeping with tradition, I'm making sure that the entire population only has houses and contribute to my industrial complex. With my newfound military powers, we're just gonna keep going. Good luck, Pink. You're gonna need it. And oh my god, isn't it beautiful? All of my caterpillars. What is a group of caterpillars? Is it a swarm? What do you call that? It's apparently called an army. It's actually called an army. That's incredibly fitting. And killing everything in the city took about 10 seconds, so we are going to capture it very easily. And of course I could put in defensive turrets, but I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna keep on the offensive. Goodbye red. Capturing this city is gonna let us evolve into having planes. We have discovered flight. And here she is. It's the moth. I mean, after all of this evolution, I think it's time for our caterpillar to evolve. So goodbye army of caterpillars and hello army of flying moths. You know what? They're actually pretty adorable. But that adorableness won't hold for long because we are gonna start killing. We have meditated on it for hours but cannot decide whether you are a friend or foe. What do you need? Your people are descended from limbless space slugs, which actually is pretty true. It's true, we are limbless space slugs, that's what we are. So now that red, dark green, lavender, and orange. There is finally only one single city left on this planet, and it is the Cyan Nation. We can see the writings on the wall. I think it's time to fight no more forever. I don't want to accept or surrender, but I guess I'll have to take it. And just like that, we have managed to beat the entire civilization stage. And so, it is time to graduate from flying to flying higher. We're going to space, baby. So what started out as a spineless little worm has become a beautiful colorful butterfly. I said that in a very nice way. But yes, this is the final evolution. We're a butterfly now. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the home planet and we're going to go to the next one. Seeing as I am getting glitches now, not just in OBS but also on my screen, I think that this marks the end. Once a piece of goo in the ocean, the humble caterpillar is now the ruler of this universe. But don't worry, just because today's story ends doesn't mean the humble caterpillar isn't gonna keep colonizing the world as his ancestors did. So, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe, like the video, share the video with a friend and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Yeah. Love you. Bye-bye.